Most of the private clients we work with are concerned about two key issues. One, how to move wealth effectively and efficiently from one generation to the next. How to make sure there's enough. How to make sure that taxes have been taken into account, the partnerships are properly set up, inflation's been taken into account, all of those kinds of really technical financial issues. The other piece, though, that really is actually, I think, what keeps people awake more at night is how they're transmitting the values from one generation to the next. And the values can be a few things. One, just that sense of responsibility to the family. And folks who are used to being on the receiving end finding themselves now responsible for stewarding. That's huge. But also, not just within the family's wealth, but then the family's impact in the larger community. And so many folks are concerned about whether or not their kids or descendants will be in the right position and with the right mindset to be able to help continue whatever that family's legacy is in the community. And so we built Syntrinsic so that we can take the time necessary to do all of that. Millennials, folks younger than that, even Gen X, are thinking about impact and the complexity of investing and wealth and society and all of those issues in a different way than their parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles have thought about it, generally speaking. And so one of the things we've been helping some of our families do is use that as a leverage point to engage the younger generation in talking about topics that might otherwise feel a little boring or unimportant at this point, because they can hook on to if I talk about the wealth issues, at the same time I'm talking about how we can make a difference. I'm interested in that conversation. There's a number of things that we determined to do with Syntrinsic that help make it easier for investors to make healthy, safe decisions. And some of those things are stripping out any conflicts of interest from the entire process. A very simple thing to do on one hand and a very unusual thing to do on the other. That everyone can be on the same side of the table is the single most important issue. There is nothing more important. Whatever people call their titles, whether they claim to be fiduciaries or not, the reality is if there are conflicts of interest in the system, you're gonna end up with problems. And so we have stripped out any of the issues that might complicate whether someone should be setting a certain amount aside in cash. Should someone use private investments or not? It depends. Should someone have this kind of an allocation or that kind of an allocation? Should they use passive management or active management? Should they try to screen for certain values that are important to them, whether they're faith-based values or environmental values or whatnot, or should they just invest in the markets? All of those are questions that get corrupted when there's conflicts in the system. And so we have structured Syntrinsic in a way that allows us to just take those questions and work through them in a unique way for each family, and often for each family member, actually, so that they can get to the place that they want to get to that fits for them. And I think of all the things that we've done at Syntrinsic, that's probably one of the most important, is just starting clean.